Welcome to the Intuitive Patterns for the month of June 2020. And yes, I know I'm putting this out really early, but June and July are big months, and I figure you should have as much warning as you possibly can. So what I do with this is I actually pick different astrological cards from different tarot cards from different tarot decks and Mayan decks and animal decks and things like this, and I kind of get a synopsis of all of these things and how they interact and how they connect. And I also throw in a little bit of the astrology, but I will do a complete astrological thing for June also. It's just not today. So in the Osho Zen Tarot, I got completion, harmony, and the creator. In the medicine cards, I got turtle, turkey, and whale. In the Mayan Oracle, I got Maluk, Ben, and Ak. In the ancient Egyptian Tarot, I got the Five of Discs, the Six of Swords, and the King of Swords. In the Aleister Crowley deck, I got the Moon, the Tower, and the Prince of Discs. In the Healing Earth Tarot, I got the Grandmother of Crystals, the Six of Shields, and the Grandfather of Crystals. And in the Words of Truth, I got Exhaustion, Lying, and Quantum Leap. So sometimes I just like literally look at these cards exactly for what they are. Okay, so let's start back at the top. This month is about a completion of something. It is about finding a new type of harmony that is centered within the third eye. It is about connecting to the center and the divine creator. The Earth Mother energy, which is turtle, is basically trying to get you to remember that your home is actually on your back and to go slow. Turkey says that you have to look at how much of your self you have given away inappropriately, or if you've given too much of your energy away. And it is the game of he who dies with the most toys wins, is the American way. But in Turkey, it's he who gives the most away wins. But in this particular case right now, it's really about noticing, like, you know, it's not a bad thing to give away your gifts. It's bad to give away energies that to situations that drain you and basically are not enlivening you. And Whale says that there is an ancient wisdom within you that you need to tap into at this point. Maluk is the eclipses. It's actually an image of the sun and the moon eclipsed. And so it says that the darkness is light and the light is dark, and to notice in the flip what that actually means. Ben is about the bridge, the connection between heaven and earth. And so here's the sun and the moon connecting. You are the bridge and a connection point of something. And Ak is a card that is really about addressing your humanity and really looking at what you have defined as being human, maybe. In the ancient Egyptian Tarot, we've got all the Five of Discs, and the Five of Discs is desolation. It is poverty. It is starvation. It is a terrible card. It's like all the cups are completely empty. The Six of Swords basically says that there's a lot that you need to go forward with and look towards. And then the King of Swords basically says you have to watch out for people who are, again, trying to take something from you. The Aleister Crowley Tarot deck, the Moon, says watch out for all of the distortion and all the illusion that's going to be happening. The Tower is a disaster card. The Tower. The Tower of Babel is going to come crashing down. I expect this to be related to the stock market and the economy. The Prince of Discs says to hold your money tight, protect it, don't let other people tell you how to spend your money, be super conservative. The Healing Earth Tarot says that there's a lot of information that's trying to come in through the ethers, and you need to pay attention, but you need to pay attention in healing moments because of the Six of Crystals and the Grandfather of Crystals. And then the Words of Truth says exhaustion, lying, quantum leap. Like, you are noticing how completely exhausted you are, and you are exhausted because you are navigating so much lying that is happening on a global scale. And there will be a moment that you will take a quantum leap at this time. So that's what I always start with, and that's how I always start to work. And then from there, I kind of let all of that information kind of digest inside of my consciousness, and then something will pop out. And what popped out today was the liberation of democracy from obsession. So the question that came up for me looking at all those cards was, does the end justify the means? This phrase means that a good outcome excuses wrongdoings committed to attain it. But what about the reverse? Does a bad outcome point accusingly at those and the means that they used and allowed it to happen? Well, I believe we're about to find out. So, batten down the hatches. June is coming in with waves of cataclysmic changes that are indicated by the coming of a triple eclipse series in June and July and all the planets moving retrograde. Just as we have been for 2 months in a forced time out, we are moving towards catastrophe on a global scale, the likes of which none of us have seen. So, what is that going to look like? Well, that could be anyone's guess. I know that so many things are teetering on edges and about to go off the cliff that it almost does not matter what starts it. But whatever event is the trigger, it will ignite a cascade of change and throw all of the other elements that are unstable and out of balance right off their edges. If you look honestly at our present circumstances, you cannot help but see a shocking number of things that are out of control, out of alignment, and ready to break. Not only does the astrology show this with graphic warnings as to where we are headed, but the cards are at a level of intensity that I do not often see. All of life has cycles of birth, life, and death. Presently, we are in a massive cycle indicating that many forms of death are all around us. And while that is what we need to find the doorways that will allow for a very new form of existence, you cannot help but feel the tragedy that is unfolding globally and the suffering that many will experience. First of all, what has been a great blessing is this forced time off, so that many have desperately needed. The problem now is that people realize the level of exhaustion that they have been tenuously holding in their body. After 2 months of having the time to regroup and heal, it has radically rearranged our priorities. Many realize that they would rather work from home. There is less conflict with difficult coworkers. There is comfort at being in your own home. There is an ability to take a pause when you need one rather than when you are told. Businesses will never be the same because now even companies realize that they do not need big buildings or offices. Just think how much pollution would be minimized if we did not have to drive to work. And many realize that they want a life, not a career. They want to enjoy their children, have a picnic, have some time rather than rush around trying to please managers and supervisors whose primary job is to push you to the point that you break and quit. That is the way they don't have to pay for unemployment. I don't know if you know that that is a strategy, but that is a strategy in corporations. This is a massive change unlike anything anyone has ever seen. The illusions that have been so carefully constructed to chain souls to desks is being revealed for what it is, a fear tactic, and a very unnecessary one. People want to work. They just don't want to be harassed, pushed, manipulated, and made to feel guilty. They actually would work harder and happier without Big Brother holding a big stick over their head. You can work and be happier. You can accomplish more with less drama if those controllers would recognize that their old way of handling things is a part of the problem. This shift in consciousness, the need to please, and the awareness that there is more to life is going to shatter the old paradigm. The big card in the tarot to focus our attention this month is the Tower. The Tower card indicates a total breakdown of the old ways. The golden handcuffs of the promises in the stock market are going to collapse because the market bubble is going to burst. June and July sets the stage for a radical and sharp correction. If you want to be safe, protect your money to the best of your ability, put it into very safe things that may have less payout but are solid and consistent and safe. And, I'm telling people, even if I'm wrong, just humor me because there's something not right here. It's like energetically there's not right. Protect your money no matter what you call protection. you know, make sure that you're not all the way out on the limb in the highest risk group. You know, like be ultra conservative right here and just humor me through the end of the year. Okay, now the next big card to me is the Mayan Oracle card, Maluk. This is the card of eclipses, and we're going into an eclipse cycle, and the light is going away, and then the shadow takes control and darkens the sky and makes us fear the retribution of the gods. Mother Earth has already shown us how toxic we are to this world in the kindest way she could. But are we listening? Many are not. And that is why June and July are going to make this massive correction for us. The suffering we have caused this world is karmically being reciprocated back at us. We were supposed to connect heaven and earth. We were not supposed to destroy earth because of our spiritual beliefs that we are some sort of superior God. Such arrogance must be addressed, shamed, and corrected. We are about to be humbled and brought to our knees. The faster we kneel and accept the horrid truth of our self-deception, the faster this world can change and grow towards something magnificent. There are many that are here to heal us, this world, and open us to our integrated potential. There are many seers that have been warning and awakening as many hearts as they can. But there are those that fester dark intentions, fueled by anger, righteousness, and indignation. They believe themselves the chosen ones. And perhaps they were chosen to be the toxic virus that would infect hate and division into a world struggling to find wholeness and a new identity. They believed they were divine, but that spiritual arrogance hid their darker side and destructive nature that had not been healed or integrated. Values that humanity had unthinkingly accepted or rejected show their falseness and the true face of fear. Choices that were ego-driven collapse as a house of cards that imprisoned your mind. The emotional drama will unfold in June and July is to force us to take an honest look at our doggedness and ridiculous attachments to obsessive beliefs that are blatantly untrue. The root cause of this moment is hate and fear. We used to have a choice, but now that choice has been taken back from us. We were given the keys to a kingdom of power, a glorious one, but now the Divine Mother is back and stripping those keys of power from us and removing us from a reality that does not serve this world. What she creates from this tearing down of self-importance will be a world that I want to see and I want to experience. But the transition is going to be harsh and painful. Many years ago, I had a vision of the future. There were two worlds that were both earth. One world was being destroyed by greed, resentment, hate, and fear. But there was another world that was coming towards this destructive world. And there would be a moment when we would be given a chance to leap out of the old world and into a world that was intended for humanity and all of life. But that leap would be a quantum leap. A leap to a level that without divine connection, complete trust, and the ability to leave everything behind would be impossible. Leap into the light. Discover that you have flight. The old world holds you down. Stability is not found on the ground. You will find what it is you seek if you let love be the song you speak.